Well, hi folks, lovely day, last day of February today. Sun's out, warm day. Camera's not focusing, which is great, isn't it? So I'm on my phone because I've had a bit of a malfunction with my video camera. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to get my garlic in. So it's all ready to plant in this no-dig bit. I've fertilised it a couple of weeks ago, chucked a load of bloodfish and bone on. So what I'm doing, I've kept my best bulbs, like the biggest bulbs from last year, and what I've done, I've separated them into cloves, individual cloves, and I'll plant the biggest of these cloves. Couldn't be easier. So what you do is, there's two ends to a clove. There's the blunt end there, and I'm having a job seeing, it's that sunny. And then the pointy end there. The pointy end's where the leaves grow out, and the blunt end's where the roots come out. So it's just a matter of shoving them in about the same depth as the size of the bulb below the surface. So the top wants to be about maybe 3/4 of an inch below the surface. So we'll get on and show you how easy that is, if my camera doesn't pack up. Alright then folks, couldn't be easier. I don't know whether you can see, I've got my camera on a little tiny tripod here. So again, just with the pointy end upwards, blunt end down, just going to push these in. I've got a tape measure out, just so I can measure them. What I like to plant them is 6 inches apart in the row, and then a foot apart, a foot between the rows. So it couldn't be easier. Just pushing them in. Basically, if you grab hold of it and then push it in up to your middle knuckle, that's about as deep as they want to be. And you just keep going along your row with your cloves, 6 inches apart, and just pushing them in like that. You can just fill the hole in afterwards. But it couldn't be easier. So the reason I'm planting them early, or even later for a lot of people, some people down south plant them in autumn, but garlic bulbs need a period of cold in the soil. They call it revitalization, and what it means is they need about a month of below 7 or 8 degrees centigrade. Otherwise, if you don't get that initial cold spell, your clove won't actually turn into a bulb, it'll just grow into one bigger clove. So if you are a bit late planting them out and your soil's getting a bit too warm, what you can do is you can leave your garlic bulbs in the fridge for about a month, and that'll do the same job, and you should get a decent result. So like I said, couldn't be easier. Sticking them in every 6 inches and just topping up the little hole. So I'll get all these in. I'm doing 60. The variety I've got it's my own strain now. I've had it for about 10 years. It's called Solent White, and I've been growing it for 10 years, and I just keep my best bulbs back for the following year, and it just seems to get better and better. So like I said, it's never cost me a penny for, well, 10 years since I bought the initial Solent White. So that's another good sort of cost-effective tip. So like I said, we'll get them all stuck in, and then we'll just have a little bit of a tour around and show you what else is going on. Well, right then folks, you'll have to apologise. I'm filming on my camera phone because my video cameras keep saying unexpected error and turning off. So anyway, there we go. That's 60 bulbs in there. Not that you'd be able to tell. So in a few weeks, it should start poking through. So that's the first bit of stuff planted this year, and that's the rest of my bed to go at, all been sorted out. So I'll just give you a bit of a wander around, show you what else is progressing or not. As you can see, the polytunnel's still got no cover on because of COVID and social distancing and all that stuff, so I don't think I'll get one on this year either. I've managed to put one up at home, a little one, a 10 foot by 6 foot one, so I'll show you that in another video. So what I'm going to do with this is, all the soil that I dug out for the trenches was all getting full of weeds and stuff, so what I'm going to do, I've covered it all in this material here, which should kill all the weeds off, and then when I do come to shovel it back in, it should be easier. If you look, they were all like that where I shoveled it out, just covered in weeds. So I need to get a bit more of that material and sort it out. So I've been getting these beds ready. It's a bit more weed than I would have hoped for, obviously, because it's been open to the elements last year, so a few more weed seeds have blown in, but it's not a big deal. So like I said, just been getting them all sort of prepped up a bit. So that's the polytunnel. I'll just be growing stuff in there as normal. Obviously I won't be growing some of the more exotic things because it's not got the heat, but we'll see how we get on anyway. Anyway, I certainly won't be short of water this year, even though I don't really need as much because I've no lid on my polytunnel. That's how much has fallen this winter. So that's over 3 feet of rain. 1,000 litres there already stored up, so should be good to go with the water situation. So I've dug all my carrots out now, these sandboxes, so I'll just need to dig it all out, get rid of much compost as I can and fill them back up again. And that's where I grew my parsnips. I don't think I ever showed you pulling one, did I? This is just in a little bucket, sand and 4 holes. I've got one left. I'll pull it up and show you what we've got. This might take some time. Hup. There we go. Not bad. Not the world's biggest, but it just shows what you can grow in a bucket. And it's a lot easier than digging them all out of soil. So there you go, that's another little parsnip. Shows you can grow them in little tiny tubs. So one thing I did start about a year ago, I started killing up, well not killing, but chopping this great big shrub that I'd planted years ago, which had taken over the pond. So I managed to get all that chopped out, so there's a lot of room now. And the pond needs a good old digging out because it's just full of bulrushes and iris. But I'm going to try and revamp this area, try and make it a bit nicer. Maybe get a few fish in and then see what we do. Might get a few frogs back in because it's been neglected now, and because as you can see it's just full of vegetative matter and stuff. So that's another project to do this year. Getting the old pond back up to decent quality. And then in my other beds I've just been getting these ready. Again, a no dig thing, just dumping compost on as you can see. Cover up all the weeds. I've left that bit because I still had a few parsnips in there, but basically same process. Doing as little digging as possible. Still do a bit of digging when I'm digging the leeks out obviously, and garlic and stuff, so it does get dug over a bit. But it's just a matter of mulching it all with loads of compost. And that tends to make it good and keep the weeds down. And job's a good one. Anyway folks, we've finally got stuff planted, first time this year. Thankfully, last day of February, weather's turned out lovely today. Loads of cars out on the road, which shouldn't be, but there you go, you can't blooming teach stupid, can you? Anyway, that's about it folks. I'll see you later. Oh, there's me